So excited to have you back on this episode too. And today I'm putting to the test my own rules, my own decision making, and I'm helping you get through procrastination, which is one of the things I'm dealing with in 2026. And I've been doing pretty well, I have to say, in different goals that I have been setting with myself. But I also want to analyze with you what procrastination means and how actually this thing happens to ourselves. And then the things we're meant to be doing, the things we want to be doing, they just never happen. So today it's all about procrastination. So if you're interested in this topic to help you manifest your dream life, grab a pen, grab some paper, and just put things down and analyze them from a neuroscience perspective. When 2026 started, I've said one thing to myself. This is the year that I'm doing things differently, that I'm doing things on a bigger scale, that I'm no longer afraid. I'm showing up, I'm being the person who I want to be, and this needs one thing. We need to shift from the princess energy, as you would have heard, to the queen energy, as you probably would have known. And there's loads of books that I'm going to place them here that talk about this topic, and you can research it for yourself. When you're actually on the princess energy, what you do is you expect for things to happen to you. But when you're stepping into your queen energy, what the actual thing that happens is you are being responsible and you're being the decision maker who says and does what they say for their business, for their life, for their family, for whatever that is. And this year I'm stepping into my queen energy, which I have been working for the last few months, I have to say, and it's going pretty well. But where I'm finding myself not being up to the task is for this particular podcast. I've been wanting to create this podcast for so many years, and if you watched my previous episode, I've been telling you all about this huge desire that I've had. This is not actually happening as smoothly as I would have dreamed of, and I know that procrastination is the reason why. So let's take a step back and let's analyze why our brain procrastinates and why we feel that this task should happen the next day or the following day or in a week or in 2 weeks. I was supposed to be posting like every week on this YouTube channel, and this hasn't happened. I was supposed to be posting every week on this podcast, and it hasn't happened. And I'm wondering why. So procrastination works in its own skillful way. And the first thing is it makes the task that we want to create a threat. So it makes us feel afraid of the task that we're planning to create, whether that is post on our Instagram, create a video for our YouTube channel, create a podcast, launch this thing, make a phone call. And I've been catching myself that I've been procrastinating on different little things in life that I've been kind of afraid of, or that have been triggered in my mind that this is going to cause frustration, it's going to cause stress, it's going to make me feel undecisive about what needs to be done. But I was creating this anxiety with myself just to book a simple appointment. So I'm just letting you know that we're all human. And even if you're working in manifestation, if you're working in personal development, even coaches themselves get stuck in situations that believe that it will take them longer and believe that it will trigger frustrating situations that they have relived in the past. So long story short, what happens is our amygdala gets triggered. Our amygdala feels, this part of our brain here, it feels that what we're about to do, it's something that doesn't make us feel comfortable. So we're either feeling quite uncomfortable because we believe we're not worthy enough of making a YouTube video, launching a podcast, or publishing a video, or doing an Instagram post, or something in our brain just feels that this is a threat. We don't feel that we're not ready to do it. We don't feel that we're enough to actually receive a service like this, or whatever it is. It's something that triggers our brain, and we have to eliminate this, because all we need to do is just face the task and face the challenge, which is to post a video online. The other thing that happens is when the amygdala gets triggered and tells our brain and ourself and our body that this is a task, what happens, our prefrontal cortex shuts down. This is where the decision making is happening. This is where we plan the tasks. This is where we become creative. So this shuts down and immediately looks for other things to plan, which is maybe I'll do my cleaning, or maybe I'll do my research, or maybe I'll just talk on the phone, or maybe I'll eat. I'll satisfy myself into having a nice meal. I'll cook for my family, which all these things might be important to you, but will not be important for the task involved, which is actually to execute the task that you've told yourself that you will do. So let's break this action down and find out what is happening in our brain when all these things are stopping us from completing a task that we so want to complete. First of all, we need to put the record straight. Our brain is there to protect us. Our brain is there to make us feel safe. When we feel uncertain about a task, when we feel quite vulnerable about sharing news or doing a task that it's going to show us and showcase us in a different light, when this task involves identity shift, that we're becoming this new version of ourselves who says what they're doing, who is completing the task, who is happy to move forward, who is happy to make the phone call, we're actually working on this identity shift, which is a huge task for our body and brain. When we're doing something new, or when we are expecting for ourselves to deliver in high stakes and to deliver into ways that are extremely different to what we've done before, this is when our brain calls danger. And that's when the amygdala gets activated, this part here in our brain. What happens is when the amygdala is activating, then we feel that this new offer that we're about to launch, this new video that we're about to publish, this new vulnerable content that we're about to share is not safe for us. So the threat is there. So what happens is our prefrontal cortex, which is this part of our brain, which is all used for taking long-term decisions, for being disciplined, for having vision, for allowing our creativity to flow, all of that shuts down. So we're not working with this part of our brain because this part of our brain and the amygdala has taken over. So what do? We scroll, because what we do, we're looking for dopamine. We're looking to relieve ourselves from this stressful situation. So what do? We scroll online because this immediately brings satisfaction, releases dopamine. We might clean the house, but if it's messy, we're going to clean the house because this task is so easy for us to do. We've done it before. We know it pretty well. We know where cleaning stuff are. We know where the broom is, the hoover is. So we get to that and we do that. We eat because we suddenly feel hungry, because hunger is another feeling that that will releases happy hormones because we're eating something that we're enjoying. So therefore, the task, it just goes away. So therefore, what do? We procrastinate. We will lose the vision. We're going to clean the house. We're going to scroll. We're going to eat. We're going to sleep. We're going to research on the topic for hours that we're supposed to work on. And we're going to lose ourselves into the research, and then we'll never do the actual task. And the day falls on to the next day, falls on to the next day, falls on to the next week, falls on to the next month, falls on to the next year of our life, because we're not facing that task we're supposed to do because our brain has translated into this huge threat. So where is the secret of actually stepping into what we're supposed to do and facing things in a different way and saying to ourselves, hang on a second, this is not such a huge task. This is something that you can easily do and achieve. We break the task down and we make it easier to ourselves. In coaching, we say we have to look at things from a bird's eye view. So bird's eye view, birds look at the world from quite high up, and sometimes our problems, when you look at them from high up, they're quite small. They're not as huge as we make them to be. They're not, all these things that are delaying us are not actually that that brutal that we're making them look. They're so huge, they're not intangible, they're quite easy to manage. So when we look at things from bird's eye view, or when we're breaking down the task into smaller tasks, our brain can handle it. And for example, doing this podcast using my phone and using a small microphone is something that my brain can handle because I'm using my phone every single day to post on my Instagram stories, to post videos, to do research. It's a tool that I'm actually using every single day for my work. So my brain feels that this is something easy to use. I have a huge camera. I have a beautiful camera sitting there in the closet, but I don't feel I'm comfortable yet to actually start using it for recording a podcast. I might do when I break the task and when I make it a lot easier for myself, then yes, I will start using it. But at the moment, this doesn't feel safe. So what do? I fall into the things that I feel they're small, they're manageable and tangible, and my brain can actually digest them and say, yes, you can use your phone to make this video. You can use this small microphone that you have to make this video, although I do have a huge proper microphone to use, but for some reason I feel that this is something that I cannot use, and therefore I don't want to procrastinate anymore. I want to make the task a lot smaller, and therefore I just leave it to the side and walk with the tools I have every single time to make this a finished product. When we make the steps a lot smaller is when we feel more at ease in completing a task. What happens then? Dopamine gets released. We feel a sense of satisfaction because we've said we're going to do something and we've actually pulled it through. But making it smaller and making it more tangible to ourselves, we pull it through. And this is with every single person, every successful entrepreneur, every successful engineer, every successful designer you see out there. They've all started from something small because that was what their brain could manage and could focus on. You cannot focus on huge things at each time. Or imagine if you told Christian Dior back in the day when he was just completely designing, and I'm using fashion because it's something that I absolutely love, that he would be this huge brand in today's age, and one of the huge and the biggest luxury brands. He would never start designing. Tell the same to Coco Chanel when she was doing her hats and she was changing the way women were getting dressed at the time. She would never have designed those her dresses, the signature dresses. So let's just put it from that perspective. Even the most successful people right now have been through this pattern because it's our human brain. That's exactly how it works. And everybody goes through it. So what if we try and break tasks into very small, tangible goals, let's say, that we can work each day? For example, I have set myself up for a challenge to post every day for 30 days. And it's been my second week now that I'm posting on my Instagram every single day without a doubt. And even though, and I have been finding it extremely difficult before starting this challenge to post during weekends, because during weekends I felt that weekends were just family time. I shouldn't be doing any work, and I shouldn't even dedicating to do this Instagram post even for like 5 minutes. By breaking the task down and by identifying that this is just a small task and the smallest thing that I can do for my Instagram account or for my business to move forward, I immediately calmed myself down, didn't bring myself to make this so difficult, and I made it my second nature. And I'm identifying myself with someone who is actually posting daily on her social media. It doesn't mean that I'm scrolling on my social media daily, but I'm getting on my social media. I'm opening my social media app at nighttime with intention. When I finished everything that I had to do for my business or for my family or for my personal tasks, whatever I had to do, I open up my social media around nighttime, and that's the time that I'm dedicating those 10, 20, half an hour to create an Instagram post so I can post on my Instagram account. And this actually, the last 2 weeks that I have been doing it, it has felt easy. But I'm telling you, there has been so many days that I have contemplated and said, this is such a huge task. I don't know what to post. I don't know what to write. And then whenever I feel like I'm putting I'm expecting things on a high stake, I'm putting so much pressure on myself to deliver on this high quality reel, this high quality content, I just break it down and just say, just do the task, just post something. I know it will be good. And suddenly all these ideas are flowing in my head because I do not feel this task is threatening me. I don't feel that it's taking time away from my family. I don't feel that this task is taken away from my mental energy, my mental capacity. I made it part of my day. And I kind of know now that after I put my kids to bed and I finished with all the family, things that I have to do, like whatever it is that we're doing that day, all the different activities, that I will just spend 5 to 15 minutes after putting my kids to bed to do something nice, sweet, and post it without having to be something very elaborate, without having to be a huge video of me speaking on the camera, something quick that I will just post online and forget about it. And this task And this way of thinking about it has completely changed the way I post things and I work on my content. And this is exactly, and this working on this podcast right now, working on this video that will be posted in the next couple of days. It's a way of talking to myself and saying, you want to talk about procrastination. I've been wanting to talk about procrastination for quite some time. I've done the research. I know how our brain works, and I want to break it down and make it quite simple for everybody to understand who's not into neuroscience, who doesn't know anything about manifestation, who doesn't um, do all this research, let's say. But I want to make it so simple so every single person understands. And when I make it to myself simple and that I don't need to bring in all these neurological terms and make it so scientific, I'm like, nobody will actually be interested into this. I want to make it simple. I want to make it easy. I want to make it so easy to digest for everybody. Immediately, I just said to myself, just make it simple. Just make it so easy for everybody, for everyone to understand the task. And when I say that to myself, I just calm myself down and I make it easy and I'm ready to move forward and explain what it is that I want to explain today. So if this is the podcast that you wanted to listen today in procrastination, make this be it. Make this be a short video that you can understand how our brain works and that procrastination is part of our human nature. And it's not something that we should be, beating ourselves over it. It's something that we all do is to keep us safe and to keep us in this momentum of life. But now it's all about changing our identity, changing from the person who we've been to this new person who actually completes the tasks, who've said something they will do and they actually pull it through. And when you do that, I'm telling you, dopamine release is on its way. You will feel this sense of excitement, this sense of success that you have actually completed and you are a person of the word. You're a woman of her word. So if you watch this and if this kind of like change things in your mind, make sure to share this video with somebody who would like to listen to it. Short and sweet, a few minutes of motivation for you to actually complete the task that you have been procrastinating for so long. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. And thank you so much for leaving your comments, because this is what it makes me move forward and deliver more videos to you. Happy manifesting.